Alright, what's up guys? Wanted to talk a little bit about the Mustang GT4. Exciting news, just came out. Always fun to have a new car out. This is my first time driving a GT4 car, so I was pretty excited to see how it felt. I do feel like the car is lacking some overall feel. I feel like it slides a little bit, whether you're on the throttle, when you're getting into the corner, and to be frank, I've only driven the car for about 20 minutes, which is the video you'll see coming up after this. But my initial thoughts, that's what these are. I plan to drive the car all season. I plan to do track guide videos for the car all season. So as we're putting more laps into the car, we're going to become more familiar with the car, just like the BMW, just like the MX-5, whatever you're coming from. It'll be the same process with this. It's going to feel weird. It's going to feel off. But at some point, you'll get to terms with the car. You'll really figure out where the limit is with the car, and you'll be able to make the most of the car with an understanding that you've gained over putting in the time and the effort. So my initial thoughts on the car is it does understeer on entry, middle, pretty much on exit right now. Again, I've only been doing this for 15 minutes when I driving the car around, but these are just my initial thoughts. And then when you get on the throttle, it does start to pick up a little bit of oversteer, but it's kind of, I don't like it. Because you go from understeer entry, understeer middle, and you get to go back on the throttle, and it's still kind of got some understeer, and then it snaps loose on you. And it's not like the BMW where you're driving into the corner, it understeers. As long as you manage that and, back up your braking points, get into the corner at a proper speed so the front can rotate. Once you get back on the throttle with the BMW, the rear end really picks up and it really starts to rotate the car, right? Well, it's just so far, again, 15 minutes, disclaimer, so far in 15 minutes, I'm not getting that same feeling I did with the BMW. And again, completely different cars. This is a GT4. This is my first experience with the GT4. But the BMW did feel like it had a little more bite in those rear tires when I started getting the throttle and it was rotating out of the corner. So those are just my initial thoughts. The video after this is of me driving the car, those first couple laps, so you'll get to see how I go about learning a new track, because I hadn't driven this variation of the track, and then how I kind of come to terms with the car in those first 15 minutes, so you can start to understand what you need to work on once you understand what the car can do. So for me, my next step of what I need to work on is this car, I really need to just slow down entry, slow down middle, just keep the car planted, and then when I get back on the gas, see what happens. That being said, I do know they made a concerted effort with this car to make it not have the grip in the corners. So I don't know if they went too far with it. I'll have a better idea in 4 weeks after I've driven it for a couple weeks and I come to terms with the car a little bit better. But for now, it kind of feels like they wanted it to feel. And I'm also very ignorant because I haven't driven any of the other GT4 cars. I forgot his name, the name of the guy that in the video, but I did watch a guy talking about, he's a Mercedes driver, GT4, and he kind of said it does feel more realistic. So that was a Mercedes. He hadn't had any experience driving the Ford, but he did say when you're on cold tires, the front tires are, they don't have the aero downforce in the cars. It's all mechanical grip, and that's how those cars really feel when you're coming out of the pits, is those front tires just don't want to grip, and that's how the Mustang felt to me coming out of the pits. So hope you guys enjoy the video. And if you want to follow along with me in the Mustang GT4 this season, I'll be making the lap guides for it. So enjoy the video. Alright, first time taking out the Ford Mustang GT4. So let's see what it's all about. I haven't really driven any GT4 cars, so this will be kind of interesting. Right off the bat, it's like the engine tone's much more high pitched than the GT3 Mustang. Take it easy on the cold tires here. I don't think I've even driven this variant of the track, so I don't even know where I'm going right now. That's a slow corner. Feel the front tires pushing a little bit. Got a little chicane coming up here. Picked this track because it's the, from what I can tell, it's going to be the first track in the next season. Plan on doing some races in the Mustang GT4 next season. I figure it's a good progression from MX-5s and the BMWs. I have a hunch if it's going to be more of a natural step from the BMW M2 than it will be from the MX-5, just because it's the way I perceive this car to be built. Nice too, you got the dash that shows all the tire temps, or tire pressures at least. I don't know, I'm sure we can see if we can scroll in between dash displays, see if we'll get tire temps. Okay, so it's not so in detail as the GT3 Mustang. You just got your pressures, but we can work with that. I'm running a full fuel load, so that is a little bit more than you'll be running the GT4 series. That is, ooh, yeah. Doesn't want to stop. Gotta get used to that. It's not a GT3 Mustang. But yeah, in the series you're running 50% fuel, so I'm running a little bit more fuel than the series. I think you just gotta think of this, the way I'm gonna think of it right now is a souped up BMW. It's gonna have that mentality. I'm not gonna have the mentality like it's a Miata where you can just throw it into the corner. Wait for the tires to get up to temp before we can really start pushing it. So I got 3 out of 4 cold tires. Over the rise of the hill, it seems like a pretty good braking point just coming over the hill there. Yeah, but I'm gonna keep doing the BMW and Miata videos for the first couple weeks until it starts overlapping where I started them last season. In addition to doing the Mustang GT4 videos. For the season coming up, I'll do lap guides for there, so I'm gonna brake it to 6. I'll just keep it in the second gear here. Still pushing the nose. Tires aren't warm yet. I do really like the dash and the Fords. Some good information. .839. That was your fastest lap of the session. Tires are still cold. Takes a lot to warm these things up here around here. I do like that little, you can hear the throttle, the fuel gurgling in the exhaust when you get off throttle. Check out this new AI. They got the sector up there, which is kind of cool. I like that. Alright, so is this second gear? Can we get away with second gear like we do in the BMW? I think you stay in second gear there. Hard to say. Gonna take some testing on that. Brake at the 6 again. A little more aggressive with the throttle there, felt pretty good. Brake as soon as we're getting off the, coming out of turn 4 there. Yeah, it feels good there even when the rear end kicks out. I'll brake at the 2. Let's keep it in 3rd gear. Brake just before we get over that crest there. Down to 2nd gear. Get on the throttle pretty aggressive. It's very planted. I haven't really got to pushing it yet, but on throttle it doesn't feel like it has a lot of understeer or anything like that, which is nice. Let's try 1st gear. Really gotta be patient through there. Do not want to rotate through that corner. Alright, brake at the green light. Getting the brakes as we're coming into this line here. Be a little conservative. Could probably cut that curb more. We'll do that next lap.
28.847. New fastest lap for you.
So a little understeery through there. Yeah, understeer there too. So doesn't quite have the rotation on throttle like the BMW does. The D2 BMW. It's the only thing I can really relate it to because I realized I'm in way of the splits. You guys can't see that. Have to fix that. Let me move those real quick. I guess we'll just, where do we put them? I'm right there for now. We don't need to see the chat stuff. Can't say I love the way it sounds inside the car. Might be different outside. It's just kind of whiny. That's what it sounds like. That's what it sounds like. So yeah, it looks like for now we're gonna have to be more of a MX-5 mindset of waiting to get on the throttle, let the car rotate, and then get on the throttle because I'm not picking up a ton of on throttle. Let's see how much we can brake. Get over that. That's better, but too fast through there. So we can cut over that curb pretty aggressively, which is nice. So it kind of pushes and then gets some little bit of snap oversteer, which is not ideal. A lot of push right there. When we're in 2nd gear, it definitely has rotation on throttle, but yeah, it just hates going through the middle of that corner right there. I feel like I might need to slow down a little bit more for that corner. brake closer to the exit of pit road. I mean, it's pretty stable on the brakes. Just kind of not got a ton of turn in is what I'm starting to. Let's let it rotate a little bit more. I don't know. I don't quite have it figured out yet. It's based off this setup. It's not. Fortunately, it's not like the BMW where you get a ton of rotation on throttle. It's kind of like almost a stubborn rotation, and then when it finally does rotate, it kind of snaps. So not ideal, but put some laps in, you can. Let's really slow down here. Get that rotation in out of the way, and then get on the throttle. It seemed a lot better through there. Really gonna try and get on the brakes here, get it slowed down a lot more than I normally do, just see if I can. It's a little bit better through there, yeah. Just had to woe it down a little bit. I can probably brake a little bit later there. I'm just trying to see how much I can get away with there. You can get away with a lot.
28.367. That was your fastest lap of the
Keeping
session.
in third gear. I mean, it does feel planted. Just a little understeer, understeer. And when it gets in the higher revs, it starts to finally rotate. Understeer. A big understeer. I didn't even check my setup. I imagine I'm just with baseline, and that's what's probably going to be in the race. As long as we get it way low down, we get that rotation going, we can get on the throttle. It just, when you get on the throttle, it just doesn't feel like it has the same bite like as a BMW. When you get on the throttle, it just feels like the tires are a little bit more, the rear tires I'm talking about, they're just like a little bit more on the surface. Interesting. They just feel more slidey. They don't feel like they have the bite as the BMW. I know I'm comparing two different classes of cars and everything, but I kind of feel like this car, front engine rear wheel drive, would have a lot of that same feel that the BMW does. It just doesn't really talk to me that much yet. A lot of it though is like, you know, come to terms with the car, starting to understand how it talks to you, and these are just my initial thoughts. So I'm first driving the car, so there's a lot of laps to put on it before you can really become in tune with it. Okay, 4 is too late. Gotta brake at least at 5.
You got a penalty for cutting the course.
I do like how like clear that countdown was. I feel like that's a little bit crisper than it used to be. Just try and slow it down a little bit, not overdrive these front tires, and see what it drives like. slower so far. Oh my gosh. Just such an awkward corner too, because this A pillar is like 2 feet thick. Two seems to be closer to where you should be braking, but, or did I say 2.5? It seems like you still can brake a little after the 5. It's just no bite in the front. Front has no bite, or I'm just overdriving the heck out of it right now. Stay there. It's just so slidey. So slidey. It just doesn't feel like it's biting into the track. And I know that is something they worked on in the notes. They said they made these cars not handle as good through the corners, and they're faster in the straights, and that is true from these couple laps I've ran, and they do not seem to really be digging that corner life. I really do like how clear the UI seems when I look at it. Like, just like the words themselves, the sector, last, the best, it all does seem to kind of sounds a little bit better through there. Let's hop some of the curb. Maybe just a little too fast on entry. And I don't have the map up because it looks like Race Labs hasn't quite got this in their system yet. It's just a big circle. It's pretty good through there.
27.576.
So yeah, I think we've done enough laps to kind of get the initial feel for it. It is kind of slidey, understeer on entry and middle, and even on X and on throttle. Eventually it does kind of turn with the rear end. It's interesting. I thought it'd be different. It's based off my experience with the BMW. Just wild how and I'm also coming off driving. Last thing I drove was the Mustang GT3, so I did do that for 6 hours straight, so maybe I still got a little bit of that in my brain, and maybe it does kind of drive a little bit more like the BMW, and I'm just romanticizing it right now. But yeah, that's my initial thoughts, first laps on driving the Ford Mustang GT4, how I kind of go about learning a track for the first time, learning a car for the first time. I'm going to need to put a lot more laps in to really come to terms with the car, so I'm looking forward to doing that, looking forward to driving a new class, and then like I said, I'll be putting out the vids for this car, the track guides, lap guides. So stay tuned for that. All right, see you guys in the next one.